I'm very happy today because I'm going to talk about books. I always talk about books, but I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing well. My name is Emma. It's fabulous to have you here. Please feel free to stick around. This is a book haul. Yeah, I don't know. Do you see any room on these shelves? Not really. Do I have books to talk to you about? Yes. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so we're just gonna go for it. The first book that I bought, this one finally arrived from the sad book depository implosion, if you will. I currently have a bookmark in it, so I did start reading it. It's a very fun bookmark. But that book is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. So I originally picked this up on audio and I really didn't like the audiobook experience, so I decided to just buy the book because it sounds like a very slow, wholesome fantasy that I would love. This has gotten really popular recently because this fantasy is famously low stakes. There's not a lot going on. The plot is simply following this orc named Viv. She puts down her sword in the very first chapter. She leaves the battlefield for good and she's like, you know what, I'm done. My back hurts. I'm like done with this life. I don't want to fight anymore. I just want to go and open a coffee shop. I wants to go and open this coffee shop in this town where no one has even heard of coffee. They don't know coffee exists. So I got to page 36. You really just follow her every step of the way opening up this coffee shop. So far it's just really wholesome. It's really sweet. It's nothing that's gonna make you anxious, hold you in any kind of suspense. It's just meant to be like a very slowly brewed book, if you will. I think that's a perfect descriptor for this. She's done slaying monsters. She's ready to serve coffee. The true reward of the uncharted path is the travelers you meet along the way. So she's already starting to make friends in this town where she doesn't know anyone, so it's also like very sweet in that sense. She's making friends, she's finding allies. I'm really excited to continue on with this when I have a chance. I put it down simply because uni got a little bit too busy, but that is Legends and Lattes. I actually think I prefer this cover, so like it's nice that it comes with a little art piece in it, but that is Legends and Lattes. I've heard about this one just on BookTube, so I finally wanted to pick it up, wanted to give it a shot, and so far I'm glad that I did, so there it is. Next up, something completely different. I decided finally to purchase Fredric Jameson's Postmodernism, or the Cultural Logic of Late Capitalism. So I was introduced to Jameson in university, I think second year. He's a very famous theorist. He does a lot of work with postmodernism. I love this text so much. As you can see, I've really only annotated like the first half of this really, because I bought this so that I could use it towards my thesis. Murakami's Dance 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 focuses a lot on what he terms advanced capitalism. Postmodernism is just so, I don't know, it's just so frightening to me. It's really frightening to me. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Jameson is a theorist who, in this text, Postmodernism, tries to detail what postmodernism is. There's a lot about architecture in here, about different texts. Postmodernism means the end, for example, of style in the sense of the unique and the personal, the end of the distinctive individual brushstroke. As for expression and feelings or emotions, the liberation in contemporary society from the older anomy of the centered subject may also mean not merely a liberation from anxiety, but a liberation from every other kind of feeling as well, since there is no longer a self present to do the feeling. It's not a parody, it's a pastiche of all of the styles of the past, the imitation of dead styles, the random cannibalization of all the styles of the past. Postmodernism also defines, or can define, a society which has lost the ability to center itself, to locate itself in time or history. Time loses a lot of meaning. We can no longer locate ourselves, our historical past. What is history? Anyway, I'm gonna try to keep this discussion limited, but basically I'm using a lot of this because he talks about hotels in this regard, obviously architecture, and I'll talk more in depth about postmodernism in general, I think, in my thesis vlogs, when like that is where all of that content will be. But I really enjoy this work. It's very, like I said, frightening to me. It is such a cool piece of theory, such a cool piece of writing. I love how Jameson writes. I love what he writes. So happy to have this like fully on my shelves now. So that is postmodernism. Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted and fun. I have two pieces of manga to show you. This first one was sent to me by Yen Press. Thank you so much. I am honored. This one is volume 1 of The Fiance, Chosen by the Ring. The story is by Yui Matsuyuki. So I've never heard of The Fiance Chosen by the Ring. These titles are always so long, it's so funny to me, but this just looks cute. We follow this noblewoman named Aurora, and she has one love, the art of embroidery. She attends the lavish evening parties her peers so adore. She's not looking for a dance, but inspiration for a new design. So she goes to her palace balls, she doesn't want to be there, she's just there for inspiration to strike. However, one night she does get struck, literally, by a wedding ring. A wedding ring comes out of nowhere, smacks her in the face, she picks it up, and then this guy walks over to her and he's like, oh hey, thanks for picking up my ring, you're now my fiance. I don't really know how that rule works, but I guess that's where the story goes from there. So yeah, never heard of this, but I will definitely give it a shot. I'm very excited. Thank you, Yen Press. This other manga I bought myself a while ago, and I never got to pick it up because once again, the tsunami of school came, but that is Something's Wrong With Us by Natsumi Ando. I've read from this manga author before, really enjoy their stuff, so I thought I would give Something's Wrong With Us a go. This one seems a little bit darker than the other series that I read. We follow Now. She's followed in her mother's footsteps to become a traditional Japanese sweets maker. Things are going well for her. She's working for this sweets making company, but one day she meets the heir to the company and she's like, oh no, crap, I know this man. Not only is he the heir to the company, but he's also this boy from her past. I think his name is Tsubaki. Yeah, who framed her mother for murder, I think in their childhood or something. But now was the only witness to the crime, and she's like, this is my chance to make it right. I think her mom's in jail. She goes on this journey of trying to prove her mom's innocence while also being really upset with Tsubaki, but clearly not that upset because she starts to fall in love with him. Okay, next up, can someone tell me why my copy of The Stranger arrived like this? What did I do to deserve this? I ordered Camus. I scrambled, this is probably honestly my fault, I scrambled to buy it just really quickly off of Amazon and it showed up like this. This is why I will never be doing this again. Why? Like, I do not want to read The Stranger like this. Are you seeing this? The Stranger is the Game of Tomes book pick for June, so I should already have it done, but I haven't started it yet because it didn't arrive for a little bit, and then when it did, it looked like this. But I'm just gonna bite the bullet and read it, even though this looks so silly. Like, this looks so silly. Honestly, maybe this is what Camus wants. I've already read The Stranger, but I only read it in French in high school. I read it for, I think it was our grade 12 French class novel we were reading, so I remember vaguely some things. I think I liked it, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it, but cannot wait to read it in English and discuss it with Carolyn. Pairing for May and June was The Brothers Karamazov and then The Stranger, so we'll actually be having our live show for those two novels at the end or middle of July because Carolyn and I are quite busy this summer, but yeah, that does mean you have a little bit extra time to read if you haven't finished the two novels or if you just want to join in. So the first page, the first sentence though, mother died today, or maybe yesterday. I can't be sure. I'm gonna look so silly reading this book. Next up, I went thrift shopping when I went back home literally a couple months ago, and I never showed you the books. I'm gonna show you them now. So yeah, I went to one of my favorite secondhand bookstores and I picked up 4 books because they were so inexpensive. So let's start with the first one that I pulled off of the shelves, just because this is so fun to me. I'd never heard of this book. The store always has like the wackiest, most random books that I've never heard of, but that I just have to buy. So this one was $3.29. This is Tail Chaser's Song by Tad Williams. Can we take a moment? Oh my god. I fully 100% did pick this up just because there's an orange cat on the cover and I have an orange boy, and I just, anything with orange cats, I am that woman now. Tail Chaser's Song. This follows a cat named Tail Chaser. Fritty Tail Chaser, a ginger tomcat of rare courage and curiosity, a born survivor in a world of heroes and villains, of powerful feline gods and whiskery legends about those strange, furless, erect creatures called man. This is a journey following Tail Chaser. He's trying to rescue his other cat friend named Hushpad. Okay, first of all, the thing that really also made me buy this was we have an appendix of characters at the end, and oh my god, if you've ever looked for amazing, majestic cat names, there you go. Let's find our favorites. We have Eat Bugs, Firefoot, Fleet Paw, Flicker Swift, Fur Scuff, Hang Belly, Poke Snout, Skin Wretch Rip Talon. It's just, I had to pick this up. So Tail Chaser has to go all the way to Cat Hell to bring back his friend Hush Pad. Why have I never heard of this? I think I went on Goodreads and the reviews for this are actually insane. The dedication killed me. To the memory of Fever, who was a good friend but a better cat. We also have a cat map. I'm just gonna read this and picture Calcifer the whole time as the main character, which, like, how would you not want that? So yeah, I picked up Tail Chaser's song. This came out in 1985 and I'm excited to say the least. I think this is actually gonna be really good. Like, I think it's actually gonna be a really good novel, so there you go. The second mass market paperback I picked up was also $3.29, and that is Dreamer's Pool by Juliet Marillier. This one I've always wanted to pick up because of Mary at Mary Among Stories. She loves Dreamer's Pool. I know that everyone loves the two main characters. I think their names are Blackthorn and Grimm. The only Juliet Marillier I've read is Daughter of the Forest. Really, really like that one. That one was a fairy tale retelling, but Dreamer's Pool I think is wholly original. And we follow Blackthorn. She is a healer, and she promises to forego vengeance against the man who destroyed her life. Accompanied by a former prison mate, a silent hulk of a man named Grimm, she finds a home on the fringe of a mysterious forest. I think ultimately, like, they team up. I've heard the romance is like the sweetest thing since caramel candy. I'm excited to say the least. Juliet Marillier really has a way of creating a world. Just silent hulking characters who are really just teddy bears inside. I think that's a genre I'm here for. So that is Dreamer's Pool. The next book I picked up, I actually found an ARC. I didn't really expect to find an ARC at the thrift store, but this one was $4.49, and this is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. Yeah. So anything wintry. I've scooped it up, I've bought it, and it's now on my shelves. So Winter Song, I think this is a retelling of Christina Rossetti's Goblin Market. The mysterious Goblin King, the Lord of Mischief, the ruler underground, and the muse around which her music is composed. We follow a 19-year-old girl who is, like, obsessed with music and music making. Okay, no, I think it is actually based on Goblin Market. Her main girl helps her family run an inn, and she kind of has to put her music aside, but one day her sister Kathy is taken by the goblins and she has to go underground all the way down to the Goblin Kingdom to rescue her. But there she finally meets the person who's been, like, influencing her music, the Goblin King himself. And there's a romance. I think this is young adult. I'm pretty sure this is young adult. We'll see how it goes. It says it's kind of like inspired by, like, the turn of the century music when Beethoven and different people were doing new things. So that is Winter Song. I didn't really hear how any form of winter or snow or cold is going to play into this, but I imagine deep underground. Hopefully it's quite chilly. So that is Winter Song. The last book I picked up there, this is like brand new. I found Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is his newest release. And it was, like, not touched, barely touched. Oh my god. I think he's gonna be one of my favorite writers, so I want to pick up every work he has out. Clara and the Sun is about this AI named Clara. I like saying Clara better than Clara. Actually, I like Clara. I like how Clara sounds, but she is in a shop window, I think, from her place in the store. She watches carefully the behavior of those who come in to browse and of those who pass in the street outside. So she's waiting for someone to buy her, take her into their home, and, like, have her be the artificial friend for them. She keeps hoping this is gonna happen. It doesn't really seem like it's going to, but then when it does, someone warns her, like, hey, don't maybe trust humans that much. This is ultimately a novel that asks, what does it mean to love? I don't know. I'm ambivalent about this one, honestly, but we're gonna see how it goes. I've actually heard mixed things about this one, but that is Clara and the Sun. Okay, a couple other books that arrived from an order finally. We have Ice by Anna Kavan. Thank you so much for recommending this to me. So many different people on Instagram, in the comment section, sending pigeons, have recommended to me Ice. You guys just keep saying, Emma, have you read Ice? You need to read Ice. You're gonna love it so much. So I picked it up and it sounds, yes, like I'm absolutely going to. This is set in the I don't know how far future, but ice has taken over everything. It's become kind of post-apocalyptic. We have this man who is trying to stay in the bounds of the new rules that society has set up in the wake of this ice that has arrived, but he keeps having these visions or seeing this woman out on the ice when, like, in reality, I don't think anyone should be there. No one knows why the ice has come, and no one can stop it. Every day it creeps further across the earth, covering the land in snow and freezing everything in its path. But one man pursues the sylph-like, silver-haired girl he loves as she keeps running. There's a raw, brutal tale set in a frozen post-nuclear dystopia. Okay, so it's post-nuclear. This seems devastating. This also reminds me of what The Snow Child sounds like. This one obviously has different circumstances, different context, but I want to read this immediately. I do have another thesis paper I need to work on, so I have my one thesis on hotels, transients, which features Murakami and Reese, but I still have a second thesis paper that I need to start, and I'm really trying to come up with something centered around snow. Centered simply around snow, probably in reality glaciers and ice. So I bought this. Speaking of more snowy things, we have The Quiet Music of Gently Falling Snow by Jackie Morris. Sounds so sweet. This one I've had my eye on for a long time. I actually discovered this when Carolyn was here. We went book shopping together and I saw this in the store. It was so expensive. It was so expensive, so I didn't buy it, but when I saw that it went on sale on Book Depository before it shut down, I was like, I'm just gonna get it, because who knows when I'll have that opportunity ever again. So it's gorgeous. This is more of an illustrated book than not, I would say. So Jackie Morris is an illustrator. It is a book worked backwards. The illustrations were commissioned Christmas card designs for the charity Help Musicians UK, produced at a rate of 1 painting a year. So there's kind of like a little story, a history behind these illustrations, and then I guess Jackie Morris was like, you know what, I have all of these illustrations year after year after year, let me devise a whole entire story around them. So they are wintry illustrations, and so is the story. Something with snow and winter is like the whole theme of it. I have no idea what the plot of this is, but Jackie Morris has a number of works out like this. A lot of them center around winter. I know there's one just called like Bear. This is my most recently purchased book. This one I bought in Nova Scotia, and that is The Grace of Wild Things by Heather Fawcett. I've already mentioned this recently, but I've been on a Heather Fawcett kick this year. I was gonna start Encyclopedia of Fairies this month as like, when it's my birthday month. When it's my birthday month, I try to like read as many 5-star predictions as possible as kind of like just a nice little monthly gift to myself. I was gonna start Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I thought was gonna be perfect for spring and summer, but then someone commented that it's actually not the book that I think it is, and that it's more winter and wintry based, like it's set up in the snowy cold mountains. So now I'm really conflicted. So maybe instead I'll read The Grace of Wild Things, which is, I'm pretty sure, set in the summer, inspired by Anne of Green Gables very heavily. This one is about this young girl who wants to be this witch's apprentice, but the witch makes her a deal. If Grace can learn all 100.5 spells in the witch's grimoire, then she can be her apprentice, but if she fails, the witch can take all of her magic away. It just looks so cute. Like there's recipes. There's different witchy recipes for things. I'm just so excited, so I think maybe I'll do this one instead. But let me know if you've read Encyclopedia of Fairies, if like that one is more winter based, because I do love reading my winter books during the winter. Stack of books I have here. I bought all of these, yeah, pretty much all at the same time. These are all for my Shakespeare course, so these are all the plays that I didn't have when we started the course. So I've read 1, 2, 3, 4. I've read 4 of these so far. So we have Richard III. A lot of these I've talked about, so I won't go on and on about them, but yeah. We have Richard III. One of my favorites for the course so far, and this is like my favorite edition. The Folgers. I didn't know they had Folgers large. It comes in large. So love that. And then I'm currently reading Hamlet. This one is in the Modern Library edition. Can I just say, I forgot so much about Hamlet, and it is so good. Holy crap, it's so good. Hamlet is so good. Anyway, but you probably already know that. I also bought Richard II. These ones, yeah, this one is thrifted, so it's kind of in this hideous copy of the Pelican Shakespeare from like, what is this? Probably like 1950 or something. Yeah, 1957. So it's pretty old, but I enjoyed the Richard II as well. I already read this, gave it 4 stars. The only one from here I haven't yet read is Measure for Measure. This is a really old Folgers edition, but Measure for Measure I think we're reading after Hamlet. I have no idea. No clue what Measure for Measure is about. So we'll see how that goes. And then we also have Romeo and Juliet that I picked up, again in the Modern Library. Also fantastic, really, really fantastic, love that. And then finally we have Taming of the Shrew. I actually really like these editions. This one I got thrifted too. This is the older Arden Shakespeare edition. This was just okay. I think I gave Taming of the Shrew 3 stars, but that is my big Shakespeare pile. And then I also bought As You Like It, which I just finished, yes, a couple days ago. Really liked As You Like It. I gave that 4 stars. So that is my book haul for now. Thank you for coming along on yet another book adventure video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. What is the comment of the day? Let's make the comment of the day your most recently acquired book. I hope you found some good recommendations. I hope this was maybe a nice break in your day. I hope you're taking care of yourself, and I hope you have a fantastic day ahead or night or whatever. So until my next one, ciao.